Sometimes we can believe that our life is a story that producers don't want to read. But the truth is, our lack of vulnerability creates a story that people just can't connect to. Let's talk about vulnerability. And welcome to my writer's room. I'm not usually one for using like Google definitions of things, but Google's definition of vulnerability goes crazy. Google defines vulnerability as the quality or state of being exposed to the probability of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally. Let's take that in for a second. Let's take that in. A lot of us tend to think about vulnerability and focus on that exposing part. And we're like, oh my gosh, I'm out in the open, telling all my business out there. And as writers, we can view that as a weakness, but it's actually our greatest strength. It's so beautiful that when the Bible explains in Ephesians 5 that when anything is exposed to the light, it becomes visible. And anything that becomes visible becomes light. And I think that is so beautiful when it comes to vulnerability, when it comes to putting our truth out there to the world on paper through characters to tell a story. The more your truth stays hidden in darkness, the more you're not letting light into the world. We are children of light, and people are drawn to light. Vulnerability is light, the light that brings not only growth, but healing. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but if you're not feeling anything when you're writing, producers aren't going to feel anything when they read it, and audiences surely won't feel anything when they see your work. So I am releasing you now to feel emotions. Feel emotions. Write about them, talk about them, release them, because if you can't talk about, accept, or release your truth and your story and your emotions, how can others? How can others relate to your truth? How can they connect to the emotions that you're writing? My question to you today is, can you put past your past hurt and transform it into a work that brings healing? As writers, we are called to create stories and characters who go on journeys that people can connect to on an emotional level. But if you're not accepting your own journey of life, how can we accept your own characters? Okay, Damon, this is like a lot of motivational speaking. You're doing great. I'm listening, but like, how can I actually do this? Great question. How to practice more vulnerability. Number one, speak the truth with people that you trust and don't be ashamed of it. Our Lives is written by the greatest author and creative of all time. That's the God of the universe, and that is Jesus. And if he's writing it, that means there's only beauty. That means it's only for his glory. Even if it's something that we find shame in, he turns it around for our good. So, step one, speak your truth and don't be ashamed, because God is writing a beautiful story of your life. Number two, write out your emotions when you feel them with no filter, uncensored. However you feel is you is your feeling, and there's no false feelings. So practice writing out how you're feeling. Oh my gosh, this made me really anxious. Oh my gosh, I'm actually pretty tearful. Oh my gosh, I hate this person so much. Write it out. Write it out. The more you write out exactly how you're feeling, the better it's going to translate into your writing. The better it's going to translate into your work. So people are like, oh my gosh, I felt that tingle before too. And they'll feel the same thing when they're watching your films. Also, with writing down your feelings, don't glam it up. You don't have to make it sound pretty. No one's reading these emotions. You're just feeling it. You're just writing it out. Just be raw and authentic when it comes to your emotions. Lastly, my professor Jeff Brewer taught us this. Shout out to Professor Brewer, you're amazing. But he always has us, before we go to write, to open up a blank doc and literally word vomit, word dump, whatever you want to call it. Type out whatever you're feeling. Literally right there in that moment. Oh my gosh, this is the best day ever. Oh my gosh, your boyfriend's so cute. Oh my gosh, I hate the girl that's inviting me at Chick-fil-A. She's talking too much. Blah, blah, blah. Write it all down. So one, you have a clear mind when you go into write, but two, you have some emotions that you can just draw into your writing. And it's such a beautiful way to go into your writing to get in the mindset of writing emotions and feeling emotions as well. Our gift as writers is not just for entertainment. It is also to make people feel seen, make people feel heard, and to bring healing. Our lives are written by, again, the greatest author and creative of all time. Let's use what he's done in our lives to transform it into a work that makes people feel seen, feel heard, and have healing through our emotions by speaking truth and relaying it in a unique way that is seasoned with salt, which we'll get into next time. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it is our greatest strength. And there are so many stories that are hidden inside of us that have not been brought to the light. So, what are you going to write next?